Alright, if your bumper bolts are anything like mine, now's the time to come in here and put a dye on these, chase them with a dye, and get them cleaned up. Okay, we're ready to start cutting on our bolts. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut the bolt, but we're only going to cut off about half of the head. What we're concerned about is this squared area, and there's corresponding square holes in the bumper. That's why there's no head on this. The square part holds the bolt while you tighten the nut. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut off roughly half of this head. Kind of something like that. So we're going to make a cut straight through the center like that. Then we're going to come on this side and we're going to make a cut right here at the base of the head, kind of here on the shoulder area. And we're going to cut until we intersect this line right there. So I'll show you what it looks like when I get done. And just a little FYI, this cap on here, mine's painted, but it's kind of like a chrome or like a stainless cap. It's just that, it's a cap. You can kind of see the lip of it right under there. So that'll come off, but we're not worried about that because we're shaving the whole thing off. So, but just if you didn't know, it's like a chrome or a stainless little cap on there. So let me get cutting and then I'll show you what it looks like. All right, this is what I mean. We just took a little more than half of the head off of this bolt, and right there's the little chunk that we cut off. So like I said, just make one cut straight down like that, and then another cut, just butt your blade. I used angle grinder with a cutoff disc, and just butt your blade right up behind the shoulder there. You want this to be a little bit recessed, but the kerf of the blade, and by kerf I mean the thickness of the blade, which that one is a 40 thousandths thickness blade. So that should be enough. You want it a little bit below the top of the bumper so that you can fill it with weld, because these are basically going to be plug welded in. So we got these cut. We got our little shoulder area smoothed out and ready for welding. So let's move on to the bumper. Okay, so here on the bumper, obviously you want to clean it up and you want nice bare metal to weld to. So of course take, a grinding disc or a flap wheel or something like that and get the surface cleaned off. But don't forget to come in here on the inside. There's a lot of paint and rust and crud. Come in there with a file and just take that off and get that to nice clean metal. Don't get crazy. You don't need to make this hole any bigger than it is. It needs to be this size, but just come in there and get the rust and paint and crud out of there, so we got nice clean surfaces to weld to. Alright, now here's what we're after. You can see the bolt is still held in place. It's still in the right position, but now we've got an area over here to go put some big beefy tack welds in there to hold it in place. And then we come and we just grind off the remainder of the bolt head, and then we finish welding it. So that's why I like to do it this way. It sort of not necessarily guarantees, but almost ensures that the bolt is in the right place and it's not crooked or going in there kind of sideways or something like that, and then you have problems getting the brackets on there on the back side. So one more thing we need to do, and then we'll be ready to put some tack welds on this. Okay, so here on the back side, we're going to put our bolt through, but we need something to hold it in place. Otherwise, when we're welding, it can do that, and we don't want it to do that. So I've just got something. This is just like some little light mounting tab or something that I had laying around, but the whole diameter is big enough. So we're going to put that on there. We're going to take a nut. I actually had a new one in my little box of hardware. We're going to thread the nut on there and tighten it down. Doesn't have to be super tight, but get it kind of snug, and that way the bolt, we know, will be perpendicular. It'll be the way it needs to be.